Okay, here we go. We are 2 seconds in. If you're on I'm gonna do a little intro, by the way. Um,
You good?
so this is a. Okay, here we go. We are 2 seconds in. If you're on I'm gonna do a little intro, by the way. Um,
You good?
so this is a separate segment just called Discord discussions where I get on Discord with the homies and we just talk about things, maybe some philosophical debates, maybe some dumb shit, who knows. Sorry for cussing, family friendly. Not even 30 seconds in, I couldn't hold it. But
Oh, we're family
if
friendly.
I mean, no, not really. That's just a joke.
I was
That
like, I'm thinking of some topics that I was gonna mention. Hey, yo,
No, yeah, that's just a sketch reference. But anyway, we're gonna talk about a myriad of things, a plethora of things, whatever word you
variety.
wanna choose, a variety of things, yeah. And yeah, so Discord discussions. I'm gonna have. This is my co-host Edgar. Maybe eventually we can bring in, three people, four people. We'll make it a giant round table thing. I don't know about video. I don't have a webcam. I could use my phone. Edgar probably doesn't have a webcam, but if you have a preference for what you want to see in the background right now, it's just my desktop. If you have a preference of something you want to see in the background, let me know, and I will insert it in for you. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a minute and 30-second intro. That's horrible. So I guess let's just get right into it, right?
We're off to a good start, bro.
Yeah,
I guess
I
let
think
me
it's
ask
pretty
my
much
main
it.
question.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you can stay friends with someone that you're in love with, and they know already?
Fuck, man, that's tough. That's tough. What kind of friends, though? Like just regular friends? No, no.
Yeah, just regular.
I think you have to be incredibly mature, but I
Hmm.
also I feel like I experience love a bit uniquely from everyone else. You know what I mean? And so, for me personally, there's no way that I could do that. But I would agree that, or I would to answer your question, some people can do it, some people cannot. I am one of those people who cannot. But I could see it working out if you, not even if you're very disciplined, because I'd say I'm relatively disciplined in my normal life, but if you just, I guess, are in control of your emotions, you know, then that's when I would say, oh yeah, that's totally fine. Um, but I don't see it working out for a lot of people. Um,
Yeah,
I think it's
it's
very.
definitely been a journey, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the situation I'm in right now, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time I actually like felt love for somebody, and it just doesn't. It's my coworker, bro.
the first
Can't fucking
time
escape her.
the first time
Yeah.
ever in your life that you've ever been in
Yes,
love.
bro. Like we're like a genuine. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I've never felt this way about anybody. Like in the past, yeah, whatever. You have crushes, but I mean, you kind of think back and you're like, why the fuck did I like them? You know?
Word?
But now it's like, I'm
You've regretted some of your crushes? Really?
no, cause like, okay, so you have a crush, right? But it's kind of irrational. For me, it was irrational, right? Cause okay, what I consider love is the complete opposite of logic, right? It's not supposed to make sense. You know, it's just this
Yeah.
feeling that you have, and you know, everyone deals with it differently. Everyone has their own interpretation. But like, I mean, it's like completely irrational. You know, I mean, you kind of just you meet somebody, you're attached to them now because of whatever reason. But like, I don't know. I guess over time you find reasons. But for me, looking back, when I had a crush, and then I look back, I'm like, I didn't even like them, or I really, it wasn't really even like love. You know what I mean? It was just like I guess like I don't know, something about us being kids. You know?
Word. Something about us being kids.
Or
I
I guess
wonder,
an immaturity thing. Uh,
but
do you know what I'm saying?
not all love is immature, true or false? Or is it? Because kind of to your point, you would kind of say if something is irrational or cannot be understood, would you not say that's kind of immature? Like in the adult
Mm,
world, everything is certain, true or false.
yeah, okay, I
So
get what you
then,
mean. I get what you mean.
would or
Okay, what I guess to add on to my point, then I guess it was a sort of immature love. So this person that I have been interested in, right? I guess you could say it's a mature version of love.
but
It's
how?
something where like I
No, yeah, go ahead. You were about to answer my question. I was gonna say, how do you differentiate between immature and mature? Like, what's the feeling where you're like, oh, this is something else, or this is something different, or I've never felt like this before.
okay, for me personally, it is extremely hard for me to fall in love. I don't even like. I guess the last crush I had before this one was like I mean, it was kind of from afar, bro. Like I never even got to know this person, but I just had a crush on them. I thought I liked them, but then I guess you get to know them and that goes away. So for
So
me, like
it's
genuinely, I don't think I've ever like even. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like this is a confession, but before I started smoking weed, I wasn't really an emotional person. That's another question.
wow, really?
Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like my weed self was very like introspective, emotional. And then I don't know if you had the same experience, but when you smoke weed, at a certain point, you join your weed self and your actual self, and like they connect together, and it snaps to where like you're finally like yourself again. Because when you get high, at least for me, it was like a different person. You know what I mean? It's what I consider my weed self.
Hmm. I see.
So
Wow.
another question, another tangent, and I don't want to stray too far from my original
No,
thing.
of course, of course.
If you can kill an emotion on command, did you ever really even feel the emotion?
No, 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 no. I think emotion is depth. I think that's all that it is, and I think that, for example, the only way
It's
to know
involuntary.
the only way to know if you love someone is if you died loving them, right? Like if you died with that sentiment. Like, there are some people, and me personally, like I said, it's very different for me. I'd say I'm very woman-like in my um I would say a lot of things about me are very feminine, not in a bad way. Like the depth
Yeah.
to which I experience emotion is very, very deep, bro. Like, if I ever
Yeah, one
uh
of the best things that I think I've done in my life is like balancing out that masculine and feminine energy because
yo,
feminine
yeah, you
energy is
have
very
to.
much it's necessary, I would say,
Yup, it
to
is.
to like a healthy life. It kind of enhances everything when you can, kind of use that type of energy because it's not something that you should stray away from as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you definitely need that. But I think that for me personally in my life and what I experience, it is very hard for me to not necessarily hide emotion, but to not feel it. Like if I have a feeling, I can't push it away. You know what I mean? Like I have to always be confronting whatever it is that's in my head or in my heart, if that makes sense. And so, for example, like if I'm dating a girl, let's say, and we break up, I'm going to feel that for the rest of my life in different
Hmm.
ways. And I think that I love to a specific point where you will always have a piece of my heart, a piece of my soul, whatever you want to call it, and I feel that it's missing. Maybe I just value time, because one thing that I have a hard time, you know, getting over is like I never saw dating as like oh, we're just gonna do this for now. I always looked at it as like, no, we're gonna date and then we're gonna get married and then we're gonna die. You know what I mean? So I think certain people, and especially I saw this a lot during high school, people can disconnect that for temporary pleasure, if that makes sense. But
So
for
you
me,
you, you thought you thought very long term, right?
oh,
You
of
weren't
course,
like the complete opposite of like day by day. You're thinking of like a whole grand scale. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yep. And
I
if we've ever interacted personally, this is more for like the audience. You'll know that, in every situation I say I'm 10 steps ahead at all times. Because I'm very, I guess, anxious for the future, or maybe not anxious is the right word, but maybe I just plan a lot. You know what I mean? Like
Like
I
Murphy's Law.
I know what I want to do and how I need to do it, and so I don't see the point in dating for a short period of time when it's like, look, if me and you lock in, we can both build something incredible, and why waste time? You know what I mean? Like, let's skip all the breaking up, getting back together, all the random hookups. I don't like that. Let's just let's just do what we're gonna do, and then we can build something off of that, and it can be good, right?
So you're
But
very serious about your relationships.
and that's with my homies too. Like, if I see my homies fucking up, and you know who I'm talking about, I try to always, not
I
be
ain't
a
say nothing.
mentor, but I try to get them to see what it's really like. You know what I mean? I try to always give perspective or give insight into any specific area of life, because I feel like I've lived a very long life. I've lived a lot of different lives, and a lot of people don't necessarily. Oh no, what did I do? Uh oh. I feel like a lot of people don't really know that, or wouldn't expect that. But
I used to be the same way, man. But like, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't change people at all, dude.
yeah,
You
no,
can't
of course not.
impose on people.
And
It sucks.
yeah, and I just posted that too. I said, you know, I posted something about being vegan, right? And I said, I tell you not to eat meat, and you tell me you cannot, right? Something along the lines of, I have the information and I can give you the information, but it's up to you to decide what you're gonna do with that, right? Like, I can sit here, it's the classic saying. Why am I saying all this? The classic saying: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water, right?
Hmm.
If the horse is gonna die, he's gonna die, right? Like, that's you, and that's a big part too. Like, I realize that we cannot control anyone. We are simply interacting temporarily, right? And even if I dated someone for the rest of my life, that is still temporary, because everything ends, right?
Okay, so the reason I brought up like if you can just kill an emotion, right? I mean, did you ever feel it? The reason I bring that up because for most of my life, right? So we all have like different responses to trauma. Mine was just straight up apathy, bro. Like I never realized it, but like for most of my life, up until maybe these past 6 months, I was probably just depressed my entire life, like genuinely. We've all had bad lives, whatever, whatever. Crybaby backstory, but I mean, I guess it's something that I'm glad I changed because like that was for me that was it. You know what I mean? I would just if I couldn't the simple way to deal with things was just to like kill it in my head. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
I was a robot for a very long time.
I
And then,
think I think to a certain degree, it's because that's also part of being a man, is being in control of your emotion, but not shying away from it, which is what I think you were doing. I think you were completely getting rid of it, whereas I think that a big part
yeah,
of
no
growing up.
processing, just like
Yeah,
kind of
no, that's
putting it
that
in a place and then throwing it away.
that's the most important part, is you have to understand what happened, why it happened, not necessarily justify anything, but simply just understand what it is, and be okay with that, right? Because there are certain things that we cannot change. We can't choose our parents, we can't choose our brother and sister, we don't choose our family, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And we don't choose to grow up broke, or we don't choose to grow up rich. You know what I mean? These are all just
Hmm.
things that happen to us, right? And so, in a way, I think that you're on the right path with apathy, but complete lack of emotion, or internalizing emotion, is just going to be detrimental in the long run. And I think that's something that both boys, men, girls, women need to stay away from. I know that, leave down in the comments if it's weird to call girls women, because I know that, like, supposedly it's a thing, or is it females that
Yeah, females is a bit iffy. I'm not like when you say
okay.
female, it's like woman
Okay.
is fine, bro. Woman,
Okay,
chicks,
okay.
girls,
Okay, woman is chill, girls are chill. Okay, cool.
femoids.
Okay, bro. But yeah, no, I see all the time that people like don't call women women, or maybe it's females, don't call girls females, whatever. So okay, bet, but I think that people really just need to be more in touch with their with what's inside, with what goes on inside, because at the end of the day, when you lay down, you're in your own head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No,
you
it
have
was
to,
definitely a character arc. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's good though, bro. Like I said, you've been on the you've been on the greatest path that and it's just
I don't know about that, bro.
it's
I don't know about
well,
that, but
I don't know what you do, but from what I see, you're doing very well, bro. And like I said,
appreciate it.
it's been insane to see you grow to the person you are, because again, like from the little that I knew of you in high school, I never would have thought you would have become this man, bro. So that's insane. And I can appreciate that for sure. And I see that you take things more seriously, and to your whole point, I think with emotional maturity comes emotional intelligence, and I think knowing what you want out of every relationship is crucial, but knowing what you can't have is probably even more so, right? So if
Adding on
you,
to that,
yeah, go ahead.
random question, right? Do you think you could be around dumb people? Like, are you okay with being around dumb people?
It's frustrating. What do you mean by dumb though? Like just lack of general intelligence, like you don't know how to do algebra, or like, oh, let's go, shoot this motherfucker. Like what kind of
Okay, I
dumb?
guess simple people. Simple.
I'll be honest, and not to sound pretentious or anything, or like I'm better than anyone, but it's hard because I read a lot of books, I read a lot of esoteric books, and I think I just understand life a bit differently, and I know that this is something that we shouldn't waste, and I feel like if you are not pursuing something greater than a 9 to 5, or some sort of freedom of money doesn't control me, right? Then I
Hmm.
think you're never going to be able to fully experience or fully appreciate what we have been given. And what we are given is life, right? Um, and so I think it's hard, but it's not impossible. I, and very recently I've been much more anxious in public. Like, I have to have earbuds in or I freak the fuck out at the store. You know what I mean? I have to walk
Bro, like
everywhere.
you get overstimulated or something, or
Maybe I have to walk everywhere very, very quickly. Like I hate browsing. You know what I mean? Like
uh-huh.
if I go in the store for milk, we're going directly to the milk aisle and we're going to the checkout. We're not going to, look at whatever else, right? And it's hard for me to be around people in public. And when I'm with the homies and they have to walk quicker to catch up to me, it's kind of like oh man, like why am I like this feeling?
Yeah, a little
But
self-conscious.
yeah, I think life is much more complicated than we think, but it's a lot more simple than we've come to know, if that makes sense. I know that sounds like hypocritical or whatever, but I promise it's not. What I mean by that is like
Juxtaposition.
it's life really is what you make it, but if you make it something that it's not, how could it be that? Does that make sense? And I think a lot of
Talking about
people,
delusion.
yeah, a lot of people are very, very deluded. They look at, social media and they're like, oh, well, this is what my life is supposed to be like, or this is what I'm supposed to look like, trends, everything like that. And I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, I want to make clothes, which is like the ultimate, like, trend following, trend setting um, area of life, I think, is like, why do you decide to buy the clothes that you do?
Hmm.
But I think I look at things very differently than most people, and most people don't really realize that. Think about it, bro. We're already 21, right? We'll be blessed if we have another 40 years. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like, and we pass time and we don't even realize it, Like,
For me, it's always been like meeting somebody and realizing that like I I hate to sound egotistical, but like I feel like I'm a developed person. I try to keep developing myself. I'm on a journey of self growth. I guess I'm not even sure why. It's just always been like I've always been a slave to ambition. You know what I mean? I've never felt
Mm.
satisfied. And then you kind of have to accept the other side of that because some people just aren't. They don't need a lot. You know what I mean? They don't need this whole journey that me and you are both going on, right? We're both going on this awesome journey. We're trying to find meaning or give ourselves meaning. But some people, I say simple people, right? Because like some people are just okay with like their 9 to 5, and they occasionally go on a vacation. They get their new car, they're happy with it. You know what I mean? They have kids, and then that's it for them. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything bad with that, but it definitely is something weird to accept that like some people are just built that way, and the way we're built is for like this whole like, oh well, I want to do this, do this, do this. I'm doing this daily to accomplish that. You know what I mean? So it's a struggle. You know, I guess there's something with the with the like unrelatability of that struggle that they don't have. They don't want to experience that struggle because what ambition really is to me is like suffering.
Oh, of
You're
course.
choosing to
100%.
suffer.
Yep.
But
And
then
yeah, go ahead, my bad.
I don't know. At the same time, I just try to learn from everybody. You know what I mean? Because I like even I don't know. Learn is a very vague term, but like I don't know. Sometimes I get to know somebody just to find out what's wrong with them or like why are they like that. You know what I mean? I don't
Mm.
know. It's
But
definitely a bad habit.
yeah, I think so, but I have a question for you. If you're a slave to ambition, excuse me. If you say you're a slave to ambition, what would it look like if you weren't a slave and you were just ambitious?
Okay, so I say slave because I'm a person of extremes.
Okay.
I,
I can kind of agree. I could say I view things as either it is or it is not, you know?
for me, I just kind of, it's like a deep dive to whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm very much so like I have undiagnosed ADHD, right?
Right.
And for me, it's always been a problem of passion, right? Where if I'm very passionate towards something, then like I'm gonna put everything I have into it, hyper focus. You know what I mean? I'll be in my room till I'm sweating. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um. So okay, so a slave to ambition, right? If I wasn't a slave to ambition, well, I say that because the way I feel about things, it's always for me, it's always been like, oh, I could have done better. You know what I mean? I never,
Man, but that's horrible though, bro. When are you ever going to
yeah,
appreciate what you have, right?
exactly.
And
That's always been a struggle for me, bro. Like it's kind of the main thing going on in my life where like, well, I could have.
like it
It's
like
always it's always in a could have. I could have. I could
yeah,
have. I could
like
have. I could have.
I definitely
And
think it's a downward spiral to always self gratify. I think like, for example, you're in college, so like if you get a 98 on a test, you're like I should have gotten a fucking 100.
yeah,
And but then if you get the 100, then you're like now I need a 100 on the next test. Like that's the thing, bro. And that's with a lot of things. When is it ever enough?
yeah. That's kind of the main question, bro. I mean, I guess the way I was raised, I'm the one that's supposed to take everyone out of poverty.
Yeah, of course.
I'm the one that's supposed to be. I'm the firstborn. Uh, I don't regret saying this, but like I've always said I was gonna be a doctor ever since I was 4 years old.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And now there's all this pressure. Now I gotta deliver. You know what I mean? I'm a man of my word. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna come back. I'm not gonna go back and say like, oh, I don't feel like doing this anymore because I still do. You know what I mean? And there's
Mhm.
always that little self doubt, but nah, like I definitely was always. I always felt for myself. I always felt like I was meant to do something big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meant to do
I
something.
I don't think that's bad as long as it's not because I feel the same way, you know. I definitely ever since high school, you know, I always saw this might be cringe or like anime villain arc whatever, but it's like I always felt like I was just wasting time in school, bro. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I would go and I would sit down and more times than not, I would already know, the lesson plan, whatever it is we were supposed to be learning, and I get done with my assignment 10 minutes into class, and it's like, well, we still got another 35 to do what with, you know? And it's like I hated that feeling of like, why am I here? You know?
Mhm.
And I never felt like I guess I don't want to say I always was better than everyone else, but I always felt like I just knew what was going on, and I didn't need high school as like a path of self-discovery, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Whereas I
I
feel
I
like a
don't
lot of other people use it for that purpose,
I
which
don't
is not bad. It's
actually
not bad.
I think high school is the opposite of self-discovery, bro. They put you in a cage, and you clock in, you clock out, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's a complete. They give you like all these options. Oh, healthcare pathway, a mechanical. But like I mean, is it really supposed to be like that? You know what I mean? Aren't you supposed to try everything? But
yeah,
no, we lock into these like career pathways where we take I did medical for 4 years. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Other
me
people did
too.
the mechanical. It's like we're just trying to like we don't really let people discover anything at all. You know, you look at this paper and the counselor's like, oh, what do you want to choose for the next 4 years? And you can
Yeah,
change it, but like I mean, pretty damn dumb way to do it. No, I don't think it's
yeah. It is very
conducive to.
strange. It is a very strange system, but I think the strangeness aspect of it, where you know I think the reason why a lot of they say like idea kids are weird is because at idea every year your class is the same for all 4 years of school. Like every classmate you have is going to be there for all 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Whereas with us, it's like, oh, I can interact with new people this period versus this period, and next year, it's let's call it random chance, right? Even though it's not, because we know how many students there are, and we know the percentage possibility if you really want to do the math, right? But I say random chance to say like everything in high school, I feel like to other people appeared like happenstance. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just happen to be in this class, seated in this seat, and this person sits next to me, so I might as well say something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then you go to the next class and it's the same thing. We're like, oh, now it's someone else. And by self discovery, I mean like different aspects of peer pressure, like, oh, this guy wants you to go get high with him, or he wants you to take this drug with him, whatever, or you should be going to this party, you know, like different things like that is like where you find out, okay, how far am I willing to go to be. I don't know. I think a lot of high school is just you want other people to like you, right? Like I think
Yeah,
with humans being social creatures, you kind of just do things for everyone else. Is that a hot
yeah.
take or no? I don't think that's a hot
No,
take.
no, no. Unfortunately, everyone had like, I think everyone naturally has that like social struggle of like, oh, everyone wants to be liked. You know what I mean? We're not born in this world with like, oh, I don't really care about anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like naturally, you listen to your parents, and then one day they can decide, oh, I don't like the way you are. I'm gonna change you.
Yeah. Wow, that's
But
rough.
the way I mean that high school isn't like conducive to like self discovery is like, ah, damn, what was the point I had? Well, okay, well, there's a
You
reason
you
they
you don't
say,
need, if you need to take a pause, bro. I'm gonna leave this in just so people know, but I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not gonna cut like. I'll cut like. But I mean, as you can see right now, we've been going for almost 30 minutes, and there's been no awkward pauses or lack of conversation. You know what I mean? But if there
Mhm.
was one where like you need a minute to think about your point, I could just cut it out, bro, and it'll just be like, okay, I got it now. You know what I mean? And the viewer will not have to sit through a pause. But unless it's like, damn, let me think. You know what I mean? But no, go ahead. Think about your point. My bad.
Nah, okay. The thing with ADHD, right? I have a lot of thoughts in my head,
Yeah,
but
of
then
course.
like we're talking, and then a new thought will come into my head. It'll push the old one out, and that thing is gone. You know what I mean? It's not really something that I think about. It's like for me, talking is always on the spot. You know what I mean? That's why I
Yeah,
kind of interrupt you sometimes. So I mean, we can just move on. I was mainly just gonna mention how like school isn't for smart people,
yeah. No, I
and
I definitely agree that it's not. I I And I mean, that's the thing, bro. I hate to like make it sound like I'm stroking my ego in here because there are very few instances where I do experience ego in my life, but through every class, I was always the guy everyone went to for the homework, for the class assignment, and it never felt like I had like I was never being challenged even in AP chemistry, bro. I
Hmm.
was like, you know what, maybe these regular classes are really just not for me, and maybe I am so much better than this. And then I took AP chemistry and I was like, oh, this is cool, yeah, but it's still the same thing, it's just different people
Hmm.
now. And I think I have to go get my pizza. Give me 1 second. This is something that'll be
You
cut
good? You good?
unless you want to talk to these people about
No,
something. They could still
you
hear you.
good? I'll be here. I wonder how many people you can talk about stuff like this with. You know?
1 second, BRB.
You good? But I mean, how many people do you have conversations like this with? You know, this is the type of things I love. For me, I've never liked small talk. Um, like my friendships, I kind of try to force them forward, and the way I do that, I guess, is by being weird. I don't know. Like I've gone up to people that I don't know, and I've asked them like, "Oh, would you rather kill a Mexican or an Indian?" I don't know. It's something about. I guess I'm just a little crazy, you know. You got to be a little crazy to talk to me. I think we need a new topic. Do you have anything else in mind?
I still feel like, okay, we're back. Sorry for the weird cut.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
I
still
wanted to
feel like
mention to you actually.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know why people think it's bad to brag about yourself. Well, I do know. I do know why people don't like when people brag about themselves. But like, I feel like if you're not able to about yourself, you know, I kind of feel bad for you. And at the same time, when I brag about myself, I don't know if people get insecure or like, oh my gosh, this guy's so full of himself. But like, I don't know why people don't just hype each other up. You know, like I'm saying stuff about myself, and maybe they can agree, but like, it's like my confidence is not a threat to your being. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I've never
but
understood.
that's the thing, bro. That's like I said earlier. Social media makes you compare yourself, and people don't understand. It's not me versus you. It's me versus me, bro. As long
Hmm.
as I am better than who I was yesterday, I win every single time. I don't care if Elon Musk has 100 billion more dollars than me. I don't care.
Hmm.
If I am, taking care of my family in the way that I need to, if I'm doing what I need to do, maybe I have to go to work to pay the bills. If I have to do that and I did it, bro, that's a good thing. And people definitely need to relish in their accomplishments, maybe. Um, like people need to be more, like I said, you need to be more appreciative of what you have because you'll never know, you won't feel that until it's gone if you don't. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna be the worst, right? Like, I appreciate the time that I spend with people, the times where I speak to people like this right now, because one day we're gonna die and there's gonna be none of this, right? And who knows what comes next, but I definitely think that when people do that, like, oh, I did 100 push-ups today. Now this guy's like, damn, I only did 80, and then he's like, fuck, I need to be doing 100. But maybe you did 60 yesterday and you did 80 today, right? And maybe
Hmm.
that guy did 90 yesterday and did 100 today. Like, you don't know the full story, you know what I mean? And so I think as long as you're building upon yourself, you definitely need to, because again, everyone is different, right? And so my life is not yours and yours is not mine. So why am I going to worry about what it is that you're doing? In a way where, like, I want to mimic you. that's the thing. I don't think anyone should. And they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I think all that's bullshit, bro. I think that if you like something, take it and make it better, right? Like
Yeah.
if I like Kanye, I'm gonna make more fire beats than Kanye makes, right? I don't want to make the same beats that Kanye makes because why would I want to do that? I don't. It's like people like want to be what they compare themselves to, but you lose sight of I should be better than that or I can be better than that.
Yeah.
You
For
limit you
me,
limit yourself by looking at other people.
it's never been about be yourself. It's always about like be the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That's a good little philosophy, but I definitely see that, and that's also why I shied away from like I hate talking about what I'm trying to do with my life. I don't know if you can hear the AC. I think you can. That's
No, you're
really
good. You're good.
okay. You can't, but the mic showing is picking it up. But I'm gonna turn my gain a lit down a little bit, and I'm gonna speak closer into the mic just so it's lossless.
You're good. You're
But
good.
as I was saying, um, what was I saying? The ADHD.
You're talking about your life.
Yeah, like I don't like to say like, oh, I'm writing a movie or oh, I'm writing a book or oh, I finished writing my poetry book.
It's awkward
You
because
know?
then you ask the other person, "Oh, what are you up to?" And they're
And
like,
they're like,
"Oh,
"Oh,
yeah, like oh, I just go home and watch TV." And
yeah." And to me it's like it's so insane. Like I've never felt normal, you know what I mean? With everything that happened to me as a kid. I've never felt normal with the way
and
my
it's
childhood was.
and then you get confirmation, but like the way people treat you,
Yeah,
it's like
because
so obviously different from everyone else.
yeah, and a lot of people just have a lot of people are just stuck in their ways, and it's like that's the most ugliest trait that I've ever seen. Like if you're not willing to change or do better, there's no possible way I could interact with you.
What
For
about when someone tries to change but they just can't,
I guess I would have to ask why is it that you can't?
or that they just go back to who they were? You know what I mean? It doesn't take much.
Then
That's probably worse. What's worse, stagnation or like regression after changing?
I would say stagnation for certain because look,
At least
all
you're trying to change.
yeah, something is always better than nothing, right? Like
Hmm.
if I have $1, it's better than having $0, right? But then you also can't just look at it like that, because if I have AIDS but I don't have herpes, it's like, oh, well, that's still not good, right? But I feel like that might be a false equivalence fallacy, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is like, I think in this world you can truly have whatever you want as long as you go about getting it the right way, you know. And I don't know if you believe in a creator or a god, but
Yeah.
I think that if you ask God for whatever you want, and I mean, if you're a Christian and you read the Bible, somewhere in Jeremiah, I think it is. I think, I think it's God talking to someone, and God says, "Pray for whatever you'd like, and act like you have it, and I will give it to you."
Hmm.
Right?
That's very interesting. Okay, I don't know if you heard this concept. This is something I've been trying to, I guess, like focus on. It's called future casting, right? You act like the person you want to be,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
become that person. You know what I mean?
That's perfect. Yeah, because you know, I think people are creatures of habit, right? So if you work out every day, you're gonna get ripped, right? Even if you're not ripped right now, right? If you make $30 a day, one day you'll make $300 a day. One day you'll make $3,000 a day, right? Every day you'll make 30K, whatever it might be. So I
Do you
definitely
believe in manifestation?
100%. I know it's real, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and even in I love telling this story, but I hate it too because it's like, you know, I really think that everything happens for a reason, and it's hard to justify certain things, but that's just knowledge we don't have yet. That's DLC that we haven't paid for. But look, I tell this story all the time. So I was at Walmart one day, right? And I look at I look at the watermelons, right? And I was like, oh, watermelons are 6.58, right? I say that out loud. I'm like, oh wow, watermelons are 6.58. I gotta come up with that money tomorrow so I can buy a watermelon. And in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. So watermelons are 6.58. I'm gonna buy a watermelon tomorrow, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. You know, I'm just thinking like, I'd like to get a watermelon tomorrow. I guess I'll have to figure out how. So, and I said that out loud. I was like, oh, I wonder how I'm gonna buy this watermelon.
Dude, I feel like words have so much power, bro.
Oh,
When you speak,
100%.
you can literally. I hate saying it, but you can speak things into
Yep.
reality.
And
It's
even
it's crazy to even like believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even Bruce Lee said, don't speak bad about yourself because your brain doesn't know the difference between a joke and the truth, right?
Hmm.
So it's like if I say I'm a piece of shit, I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit, you know? But back to my story. Um, so again, excuse me. I walk out of the store and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna need to get a watermelon tomorrow. Um, and so I go to work, right? I clock in. This guy, it's maybe like 3 in the morning, right? This guy comes in and he wants to buy some Swishers, and he buys a pack, and I give him his change. It's $1.10, whatever, right? And then he starts pulling more money out of his wallet, and he's like, you know what? Um, and so he's pulling more money out of his wallet. In my mind, I'm like, oh, he's gonna want some more. He's like, he's like, here's $5, and I was like, okay, you could get four more, right? In my mind, I said that. So to the I go over back to where the Swishers are, and I get him, four more Swishers because I assume he's gonna buy more, right? So fuck it, let me just stock up now so I don't have to leave the house or whatever, right? And I put all the Swishers on the counter and I start scanning them, and he's like, oh no no no, and I was like, oh my bad, like how many more did you want? And he's like, no, this is for you, and he gives me the money that I need, but when I count the money, it was like $6.40, let's call it. I forget the amount that the
Hmm.
watermelon was. And i and instantly, as soon as I'm done counting that money, I see myself sitting in my chair at my desk, and I look down, like down to my right, and there's a dime on the floor in my room. And so that's the 10 cents that I'm missing, you know, to buy the watermelon all the way, right? And so I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, wow, really interesting how, earlier I said I needed $6, whatever, and now I have it. And I go home and I sit in my chair at my desk, and I look down on my right, and there it is, that last 10 cents that I needed for that watermelon. And so that kind of leads me to believe where if you want anything, even such a small instance like that, and you're gonna see, bro, I promise, like it's rough for me right now. Life is hard, but I'm gonna do incredible things, bro. Not even sucking my own dick. Pause. No Diddy, but like I'm gonna do incredible things, bro.
No,
And
you're
it's
supposed to think like that. Why
yeah,
wouldn't you?
and
I
it's
don't know why people want to be in this little box of like, yeah, I get that like, oh, it's not favorable or like to the people around you. You know what I mean? When you talk like that, it's like, oh my gosh, what the hell is this guy talking about? But like, I don't know. I've always supported that way of thinking. You saying that doesn't threaten me at all. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no, exactly. And I wish
I
I
just
wish
hate how
more
people
people were
can't
like
hype.
you. Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't hype each other up, bro, because like they get insecure. Like,
yup.
oh, I don't have your confidence. I don't have your drive. So that means
I have to
what you're
shut
saying
you
is
down.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
I
Like,
have to say, oh
I gotta
fuck
bring you down
this
to my
guy.
level.
Yup. And man, if everyone were like you and I, bro, the world would be so fucking different. And that's the thing too. Like, it's kind of like sometimes like I feel ashamed that I want so much, or like I feel
Hmm.
guilty because I see everyone from this city, bro. Everyone is normal, and that's not bad. It's okay to be
You
normal,
gotta get
whatever.
out of Brownsville, bro. You gotta get.
Yeah, bro.
Or I
Yes,
don't know if you want to
yo.
cut that out. I don't want to dox you.
Nah, we're chilling. I don't care. I plan on doing IRL content too, vlogs, street interviews. So I'm gonna dox the location anyway. But no, yeah, Brownsville, Texas is where we're from. I think we have a very unique perspective. Um,
It's like
but
crabs in a bucket, dude. You
yes,
know about the
bro, it
crabs in the
is.
bucket?
Yeah, it's like where we'll build each other up, and then as soon as someone's about to dip, you just bring them back down. and there's no progress to be made ever.
Just for the
So
viewers, when you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, some of them will start climbing out, and the other crabs at the bottom of the bucket are gonna pull the bucket the crab that's like trying to climb out. You know what I mean? So everyone stays. All the crabs stay in one bucket. Nobody gets out because of the others. You know.
yeah, and so bro, yeah, I've been needing to dip for so long, but it's like, this is just what I'm building for now, I guess. But
It's day by day, bro. You know.
yeah, I'm doing get everything going. But
That's good, man. That's good,
Dead but
bro.
dreaming soon. I promise. Before the end of the year, for sure. Hopefully two drops, but for sure one drop before the end of the year. It's
Mhm.
very close, but
I
yeah,
think you should. I think instead of mentioning a date, you should just mention your progress.
that's definitely what's fucked me before, and that's why I don't like to make promises anymore about like when something's gonna happen. It'll
Yeah.
happen when it happens, but
Yeah.
yeah, bro, this city is so interesting, and like I said, I see normal people, and it's like, whoa, maybe I shouldn't be, wanting to direct movies, or maybe I shouldn't want to have a giant house in Puerto Rico, and maybe I shouldn't want five girlfriends, maybe I should want one.
Hey yo.
You know what I mean? No, but
Chill out. Chill out. No,
I'm
I'm
gonna, I'm
playing. I'm
gonna
playing.
be honest, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Whatever. But it's like that's just how I feel, and like a lot of different things lead me to think like that, like the trauma, the abuse is a big part of that. And it's hard because, I think people can always change, but there's some things you can't change about people. You know what I mean? There's a bar by Benny the Butcher in a song called 330 in Houston where he says, "Quarter in jewels shopping at Walmart, take me out the hood but can't take the hood out," right? And so what he's saying is he's got $250,000 in jewelry on, but he still shops at Walmart, because that's where he
Hmm.
used to shop when he was broke, when he didn't have that $250,000 of jewelry.
A lot of what we are, I think, is literally just our childhood.
Yeah,
Like right now, the thing I'm dealing with, bro, is like this girl. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell it is, but like
and she knows
she's
he's
she's toxic. She toxic, but I'm the one staying here. You know what I mean? I'm the one like it's a difficult situation to get out of. I don't know why the hell I'm so attached to this girl when like
Oh, trust me, I know that feeling. But
it's so toxic to me, man. It's like I'm breaking down myself for her, and I want to get, or I don't know what the hell is gonna happen, man. Because
I think
it
the
might it might
perfect
it might be
partner,
more me than her. It might not even be her, bro. Like,
but no, but I think the perfect partner will want you to do better.
hmm
I don't think I don't think your partner would ask you to be anything less than the best you could be, right? And that's the thing too though. People don't really love you, bro. They love the idea of you or they love who they think you are, right? Which is the
they
same
love how
thing,
you
I
make them
guess.
feel.
Yeah. Everything is just an experience, bro. And so, if I talk to this girl one way and she falls in love with me, it's because I talk to her that way, right? Maybe I look
Mm.
pretty that day, maybe I smell good, whatever. But it's all because of that, oh, I felt like this, so now, my brain thinks, oh, we're supposed to fall in love, we're supposed to do this, but I don't think that I don't think that real relationships are what we think they are like the media, or like the books or like the movies. I don't know. But it's also very hypocritical because, like I said, when people say I want love like the movies, with this movie that I'm writing about, people are going to be talking about that. And I think maybe I'm delusional, but I think I have a really good idea of what it means to be in love, what it means to love someone, because I've experienced it, I've lived it, I live it right now. You know what I mean? And so
hmm
that sort of aspect is is what makes me, really think about, the true nature of partnerships and relationships, because I see, and I was just in a group chat talking about this. Um, Let me not say too much on here, but this guy that we all know, you know, hit up. Nah, let me not even say it, but basically down here, I just don't think there's a lot of understanding, you know? And I don't know if that's just culture and people are just stuck in their ways, but I mean, pretty much everyone like cheats on each other, Like there's no loyalty. You know what I mean? And I say this a lot, and I even got banned on TikTok for a little bit for saying this, but I said, if you cheat on your girlfriend, I cannot commit crimes with you. Loyalty is loyalty in all facets of life. Would you agree
Hmm.
with that, or would you disagree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So if I see that you talk
you
shit
definitely
about,
have to take it into consideration. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not
like,
something you ignore.
no, of course not. Like, if I see you talk shit about someone to me, I know you're likely to talk shit about me to someone else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
That is true.
if I see you cheat on your girlfriend and we're we're robbing a building, whatever, I know that because you are not loyal to your girlfriend, you're not gonna be loyal to me. And if we get caught, you're gonna tell on me. You know what I mean? And so that's a big part of everything, bro. It's like really the only thing that I value anymore is loyalty. And 21 Savage put out that song Ball Without You. I don't know if you know it, but everyone was like posting that song for the longest time, where he was like, I would rather have loyalty than love. You can love someone and still stab them in their back. Something like that.
Yeah. No, I remember. I know the exact line you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It goes something along the lines of that. I probably didn't say it all the way, or I missed a part, whatever. But
yeah.
it's true, bro. Like, it really is true. I definitely don't necessarily need to be liked. I don't care for being respected, as a person, but I just want you to appreciate, my art, my work,
Hmm.
And if
Okay.
you can and
So.
if you can give me that, that's more important than you saying, "Oh, I love you, bro."
Hmm. Okay. So. Fortunately, I gotta do something. I'm gonna get busy right now. We can keep talking. I'm just waiting on these people. I'm actually gonna try shrooms right now.
Oh, bet.
First time.
Bet. Be careful, bro. Bro, speaking of shrooms, I've been waiting for this website to stock these shroom carts, but they're not in stock yet. I've been wanting to buy one.
Dude, have you heard of Lion's Mane?
Yeah. That's what you're taking?
Changed my life. Yeah, change. No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking psilocybin right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, okay, okay.
I've been taking Lion's Mane, bro.
Yeah,
You got
lion's
have
mane
you
is so good for your brain, bro.
do you take that?
No, I don't, but I should, bro.
You gotta
That
take that. You
yeah,
actually it genuinely changed my life. I'm not even lying to you,
bro,
bro.
yeah. But the thing is, my mother is allergic to penicillin, and well, she's not just allergic to penicillin. She's allergic to things that reproduce with spores, and obviously that's mushrooms. So she told me, like, yeah, one time, I took mushrooms in college, and I had to go to the hospital because she had an allergic reaction. So that's kind of what's, making me apprehensive. And since I don't have health care, I can't go to the doctor to go get like an allergy test. But I've been wanting to get into shrooms for sure. Regular mushrooms, the legal and the, not illegal, but let's just say illicit, because I don't want to get this video flagged or taken down. But
We do not
yeah, no, do
condone.
do not do illegal drugs. Don't do that. Only take what you're supposed to take as if it's legal and if you're of age. Don't
Do
vape.
everything that the government tells you, bro.
Yeah,
Don't
for real.
Do
Do
not
everything.
deviate.
Do everything. Do not
You're a little
deviate at
sheep.
all. Don't ever be different. Don't ever strive for anything great. Okay, guys. Um,
Follow the hive mind.
yep. The hive mind is always right. If it wasn't right, why is everyone doing it, right? Um, Yeah, bro. Mushrooms are definitely people need to tap in, but we've been going for 53 minutes. It's probably like maybe 51 or 52 after the cuts, but bro, that's almost an hour that we went. Guys, there's no script. You don't have to believe me, but we had no script. I told him at the beginning of this that I'm probably gonna cut out, but I'll probably leave it in just for now, so you see I'm not a fucking liar. But I told him, I was like, nah, bro, I don't have a script. I just have some ideas of what we want to talk about, and I think that's true, genuine, not necessarily friendship, but that's true, genuine conversation or connection, rather, when you can just talk to people about whatever, whenever, however, and it just goes, bro. And I definitely think I wouldn't say I have a gift for speaking, but I think I have a way with words. I'm a writer. I'm an artist in more uh, regards than one, if that's the right way to say that. I don't know, but I write a lot. I mean, I wrote a whole poetry book. You know what I mean? I like to write books, things like that. But I definitely think speaking is something that I can improve on, and I want to do that by doing this. This segment of the podcast, the regular podcast. I just love interacting with people. Forming new connections, things like that, and really just understanding more. And learning more, because the greatest gift you can give someone is knowledge. I think if you can get someone to understand something, either about themselves or about the world, about the nature of reality, whatever it could be, I think that's the most beautiful thing. And so,
I'm
yeah,
just a
that.
big yapper, man.
Yeah,
I feel like there's not a lot of people you can have conversations like this with,
no,
bro.
there's not, bro. There's
It
not.
it definitely sucks, you know. I
So,
hate small talk. You know, I'm over here.
oh yeah, no.
Oh, how's your day?
Yeah, no, no, no. Definitely not like that. If that's the kind of conversation we're gonna be having, I'd rather just not have it at all. Just leave me alone. I'll be by myself instead. I prefer. And Friedrich Nietzsche, I don't know how to say his name, but he said, I hate those who steal my solitude without instead offering true companionship, true friendship, something like that. And he's right, bro. One of the greatest writers, one of the greatest. Call him a philosopher, call him a whatever you want to call him, but
A
he's one of the
racist.
he's one of the gay. No, that's actually not. That's not true.
No,
And
I'm playing. I'm playing
I'm
with you. I'm playing.
surprised you know about that. But the reason why that came out is because his sister, who was like a neo-Nazi or whatever, was in charge of all his shit when he died, and so she
That's
started she
crazy.
started misconstruing what he was saying and shit. But yeah, bro, common misconception. I'm surprised you knew about that, bro. I'm sure not a lot of people know who he is, but yeah, goated author, goated writer. I want to buy his complete works on Amazon here pretty soon and just reread through that, because I hate ebooks. I hate audiobooks. I have to read. Reading's the way I learn the best. But yo, I've been yapping so much more than I need to. I wanted to cut it off at 53 minutes. It's been 56 minutes. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you coming through. We're gonna try to do at least one of these a month. I don't know if you're down for that. We don't have to, but like
We
I
can do
said, I
once
mean,
a week, bro. I mean, my
once a
Saturdays
week,
are.
word.
It's up to you, man. I mean, I just like having conversations like these. You know, it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, so there's that. I appreciate everyone giving me almost an hour of their time. Time is the most valuable currency. We never get it back once it's spent. So be
Time is love,
careful.
bro.
Peace, love, health, and wealth to everyone. And
All right, bye, y'all.
that'll be all. Goodbye, goodbye.